Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was finally released, and we gotta say, this is a disappointing end to the DCEU. Aquaman 2 has finally been released, and it's a bittersweet goodbye to DCEU, and this this wasn't the worst DC movie of the year. I'm gonna get that out there right now. Flash is definitely worst. This was better than The Flash, but it wasn't a well-made movie. There was a lot of dumb shit going on, but depending on your tastes, you could still think of this as an enjoyable movie. So there's definitely some redeeming factors about this movie. I think probably by far the best part about this movie was the relationship between Aquaman and his brother Orm. Hands down, I think that was probably the best part. Their interactions, their banter was enjoyable. That's
Brothers.
what yeah, it's what made the movie entertaining. And they had some good chemistry. They had some good comedy together. And that's another thing. The comedy in this movie was pretty good. Other than that, it was there are some things that weren't as amazing. The action was good, but honestly, that's about it. There wasn't really much depth to this movie, but the action comedy, that's about all we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow what Griff said. It's I was not looking forward to this movie at all. I think we spoke
Yeah,
about this when we had the whole
we
new
called it.
like
All of you called us fools in the comments saying this looks so good. No.
we I just there was no and my excitement level for this movie just kept falling and falling and falling. But I'm gonna talk about the stuff that I did enjoy. Um, what Griffin said, and I can't agree with him more. I have a brother, and I'm sure everyone out there who has a brother will
I got
agree.
one.
Uh, Relationships between brothers are like that. It's odd, but like my brother and I, we can't be in the same room together for more than half an hour, or we're already disagreeing with each other.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a dick. I think he's a dick, but we have each other's back no matter what. And that is what Arthur and Orm brought to it. The banter between them, I thought was enjoyable. I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, that's how my brother and I speak to each other. And although he's annoying, he knows I got his back. And I was able to see this on the screen with these guys. Jason Momoa is not the world's greatest actor. I think in anything he's ever done, but the dude is enjoyable in the role, and particularly as the brother, and Orm as the jealous brother of like, oh, this guy took everything from me, but now he comes to me for help. We've all been there as brothers. We've argued with our brothers. We're
Yeah.
like, you're a dick, but then we need them, and we're like, dude, I really need your help. I thought that was hilarious to see. Just that type of banter. The action in here, there's a ton of action in this movie. A ton of action. I'll say this, if you like the Transformers movies, you're gonna
Oh
like
yeah.
this movie. There's a ton of action, a ton of shit's exploding. The visuals are stunning. James does action really, really well, in my opinion. I don't think this was the exception. I think this was done
Yep.
really well. I agree with Griffin. This is no, this is the best DC movie that's come out, this year. This is
Even
better than
even better than Blue Beetle? Because I know you like Blue Beetle a bit.
I did like Blue Beetle. I can't get over
The
the
grandma?
non the non-real taco shit or the
Oh
grandma.
yeah.
So I
Okay.
ca- I just I can't. I will. We know we're gonna get Jolo as Blue Beetle in this new universe, so let's do that.
One thing I
This
would
may
quickly like to add before we move on is that one thing I did enjoy, I did forget to add is I think Black Manta's character arc, especially the ending, was very fitting. And I enjoyed Black Manta's character arc ever since Aquaman 1. I like the ending in this one for him.
see with me. I'm gonna disagree with Griff a little bit on that. I like the character of Black Manta. I think the actor that plays him is great. I think he looks the part. Uh, Shit. When I look at him, I think I'm reading a comic.
Yeah.
The suit looks, it's Black Manta for all intensive purposes. I don't know how much I can say without spoiling this shit, but I really wanted, I'm gonna say it, I don't care. I really wanted his arc to be like, this fucker took everything from me. Now I have the means to like get back at him. Kind of. Essentially, he's being
Yeah.
puppeteered. So it was like is it really his, revenge arc?
I
That's my
think,
only gripe about it.
yeah, and I definitely get what you're saying, and I think that does lead a little bit into my issues with the movie, and kind of going with what you're going with is the story of this movie isn't really, it's not gripping, doesn't build tension too well.
Yeah.
Part of that is with Black Manta is he got his ass kicked at the beginning, nothing changed, and he got his ass kicked at the end. There was no real changes to help build the tension, to help elevate the villain's threat level. It kind of just remained constant, and if we saw him got his ass kicked an hour in the movie, why should we fear him? It's just, so I do get what you're saying, but I do think at least the starting motivations were his own, and then as he became more and more corrupted,
Oh yeah, no, at the
he did
beginning it's
lose
it's
it. So
it's
yeah,
it's
I
full on him, vengeful, trying to get back at Arthur, all of that. But then it became more of a there's something behind that, something behind, pulling all the strings. And I was like,
I
well, it's
think
it's it's kind of like two
yeah,
stories in one. So
I think
that's
it could have been improved definitely. And one thing, like they did mention this several times, like he's not wearing his power suit throughout any of this movie, and he loses. Like I said, all throughout this movie. So why doesn't he wear the power suit?
yeah, that one of the things a lot of people will first of all, I guess I'm gonna be all over the place with this movie. There were things that I did enjoy. There are things that I'm bittersweet about because I know this doesn't pay off to anything. This is it. We're done. We all know that Jason Momoa is dying to play Lobo. He talks more about Lobo than he does about, and I get it.
He's
That's what
flat
the
out
guy wanted
said the
to do. He
Aquaman's
even
future
says
doesn't
it
even
in
look
many of
good.
his interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, he has stated he was like, "Look, when I was offered the role of Aquaman, I was like, really, me? Shit, dude."
I think we
Um,
all said really him.
yeah, but and it's fine. At least he knows where he's. Look,
Yeah.
Jason Momoa's got a job. It's
Sure.
all but
Well paying job.
signed. He's gonna move on to continue in the new DC universe. Uh, I just I found it weird that in a press junket for this movie that was brought up so much, but I get why. There was another part where a lot of people are like, no, 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 Amber Heard's role was reduced. Was never reduced. It was always meant to be this short. No fucking way. There is no way
Yeah.
you're going to convince me that in the movie where the essential story arc is, Arthur's family being in danger, that you just minimized her role. And there was it's all because of the Johnny Depp drama. It's 100%. Her role was reduced. You could, even if you're not a DC hardcore fan, you can just kind of tell just based on the story we're in. I mean, the kid gets kidnapped. Spoiler alert. There's no way the mom's not heavily involved in that. There's just
Yeah.
no damn way. So her role was reduced. Actually, this movie is reduced. You can tell this movie. The
Oh
first movie
yeah.
is 2 hours and 2.5 hours. This one's like 2 hours and what minutes? Couple
Couple
minutes.
change. Yeah, change.
And
Not
you can tell
much.
there's a lot of scenes where you're like, that was meant to go a different way easily. And this movie went through a ton of reshoots,
Oh my God,
and
it's insane. The
I'm
amount of
surprised. I'm surprised it was released. I'm surprised they didn't pull the plug on
here's my
this.
theory, and I think I know exactly why this movie's continued, why the plug wasn't pulled. The amount of ad revenue they got from Guinness in this movie is astounding.
That is true.
It's crazy how much money they made off of
You know,
Guinness in this.
on that subject, I got to be honest with you. Okay, I think I'm a firm believer. I think everyone deserves a second chance. Yes, she was caught lying. Yes, that shit was shady. But I didn't mind her in the role. I think she did the best she could with what she had. Her role was very, very reduced. I understand if she's pissed, I'd be mad too.
Yeah,
We'd all be mad if we got sent home from work because of some BS that happened outside of work. Gotta remember, all of that stuff happened out exterior to this. Um, but she looks great. I don't care
yeah,
what anyone says. I'll die on that hill tonight. She looks phenomenal. I could look at that woman all day,
yeah.
every day.
I
She
do.
looks great.
I agree. I do think in comparison to Aquaman 1, this movie really doesn't live up to it. Of course, that's like
Oh,
one of the billion-dollar movies DC has done. But even
100%
just
agree.
like the characters, like the amount of effort Jason Momoa put into this role, you can really see it's not really
Oh,
the
that guy's
same
done. He
character we
doesn't care.
started with.
No,
This
of
is just
course.
Jason Momoa playing Jason Momoa, which is
Yeah,
not a
he's
bad
trying
thing.
on
Like
his
I said,
Lobo boots right now.
yeah, honestly, he was
He doesn't.
enjoyable. He was
Yeah,
funny. But yeah, it's
and it
vastly
happens to
different
all of us. Have
character.
you guys ever been at a party and it's just kind of like that shit's going downhill, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden you get a text where there's a cooler party? That's Jason Momoa. This whole time he's like,
exactly.
let this shit in so I can
And
be
then
Lobo.
yeah, and with what Edward was saying, with moments that were going obviously somewhere different, the entire first act of this movie is shit. It's the first part of this movie's terrible. If if they fix that, I would say this movie was okay or good, but the first part of this movie is just really bad. So if you're able to sit through that, it does get better. I promise you it gets better. It's just wow.
One of the things, and it just may be me, is in uh Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jason Momoa has a crazy physique. I mean, there's that scene where he jumps into that frozen river. He's shirtless. He looks jacked. And in Aquaman 1, yeah, he's in great shape. Here, I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the suit. I don't know if it's the lighting. He looks bloated. He looks like just like he's gained
It's the
some
dad
weight.
bod. I don't know. I think just a lot of things with this movie. It was made because it had to be, but no one was super into it except for Amber Heard because this is her last job.
No, she'll get work.
She'll
There's
definitely get work.
Yeah,
It's
she'll.
definitely a bit exaggeratory on me, but
No, I get it. Look, she I'm sure she'll be fine. And if
yeah,
she isn't, somewhere out there, someone is crazy off their rocker. I don't care what anyone says. I've told Griff, I'll die on this hill too. She's not a horrible actress. Believe me, guys, there's way worse actresses out there. There's Sydney Sweeney, who I won't argue her looks. She's phenomenal to look at, but all she ever does is show her boobs. Amber Heard, she can I actually really wanted her for a Mystique at some point. She'll get work, and if at
yeah,
least
she
she'll
will.
have a illustrious model
Maybe
career.
not to like the level of this, but yeah, I'm confident she's going to get work.
Yeah, yeah,
And
maybe
so,
some other type of stuff, but she'll get some work. Jason Momoa, he's gonna get work. The
oh yeah, I mean he's big right now. Everyone wants him. But yeah, he's been in some terrible movies, but even
he
then,
was
that's not hurting
Conan,
his.
guys. He was
Yeah,
Conan. Just
yeah,
remember that shit.
nothing's
So
gonna
when
do
you
to hurt his
think that this is
reputation.
bad, just remember, Jason played Conan.
Batman and Robin
And if you haven't seen,
exists.
yeah, there you go. The takeaway for this movie for me is definitely the dynamic between the brothers.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, I did like that. I don't think it's Shakespearean. I don't think it's like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen level shit, but I think it's pretty solid for a DCEU movie.
I
It does
agree.
end.
It
It's
does end.
done.
It actually has like a good ending. I think everyone's
Mine is
arcs
that
tied off
stupid
nicely.
ass
The
end
end
credit
credit,
scene.
yeah,
Jesus.
you could skip it, but I think this is it's an ending for the DCU and DCEU, and frankly, that's more than I expected. There's some dumb shit that happens in this movie. Yeah, we can expect that. There's a big mechanical machine that's less than a foot away from Orm, and he doesn't notice it move behind him as it's climbing on rocks, which is
Do you imagine the
insane.
noise that thing makes?
You could
Just
hear the
the
noise it
sheer
makes in the
noise.
theater. Like it's not like they didn't like make the scene silent or anything. You can still hear it. He
Yeah.
just doesn't notice. But no, it's action packed. There's some good comedy. If you can get past some of the dumb shit, yeah, you're gonna have a good time. And I think this is kind of the portion of the video where this is just gonna be our bittersweet send off of the DCEU because this has been going on for 10 years and it's been a wild ride.
You know, there are many videos and there are many chats where Griffin and I and a bunch of other friends have complained about the DCEU, whether it be Zach, whatever director has done certain things. My grandfather had a saying, anything that doesn't start off well doesn't end well.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we're seeing this end in a sad note for me
No,
because
I think for me too. Oh, absolutely.
I love DC. I mean, for all this stuff I talk about Daredevil and all that stuff, DC and Batman and all that stuff, I want this universe to succeed. It didn't. It just There was so much drama from the very beginning. Zach wanted to go a certain way. These guys, all they cared about was competing with Marvel, and that's why they bum rushed
Shot themselves in the
BVS. It was
foot
supposed
right
to
at the
be,
start.
yeah, it was supposed to be, just a sequel to Superman, and it was a sequel, but
Kinda.
because I don't understand people that are like, "Where's Man of Steel 2?" BVS.
I
It's a
mean,
direct sequel to fucking Man of Steel.
and I think for me, like the saddest part about this, okay, we had the Man of Steel start, we had Suicide Squad, not amazing movies. Still, honestly, did pretty okay in the box office. And then the last three DC movies, I'm including Aquaman in this. They're not gonna pass 100 million. So like Suicide Squad passed 600 million in box office. Now that would be a huge success for DC. So it's just a matter of perspective because if we got that now, it would be a massive. It would just be a different story. We'd have a different review for it because yeah, I think the movie's
You
predictable. It
know,
has some
I
issues, but
hope that Warner Brothers, and probably not because they're fucking Warner Brothers,
yeah.
um, I hope they learn from their mistakes. I hope they trust their directors. I hope they take a cue from Kevin and hire someone you trust, tell them your vision, tell them where you're going,
Hmm.
and let them do that. Zach was fucked with on every level. Don't do this, hire him, don't hire him, change this, rewrite this. The
And
amount
not
of
giving him
crap he was
time when his
given,
daughter committed suicide.
which is
That's just appalling.
just, it is. That is,
It's insane.
you could say a lot of stuff about Zach. We have a Zack Snyder movie we're reviewing tonight, and we may talk some stuff about him tomorrow. But you got to respect the guy, and I can't even imagine what it's like to lose someone to a family member to, you know, any sort of death.
Yeah.
The amount of shit he was given, the timeline he had to fulfill, he had to step away, and we all know that Josh Whedon is garbage. The way he treated Gal, the way, and say what you want about
How he
Gal,
treated everyone.
the way he treated Ezra, he didn't pull that shit with Ben
Ray Fisher too. It
or,
was
you know,
ridiculous.
the crap that Ray Fisher was put through. And then Kevin Sujihara, uh, Walter Hamada, it's all the other guys, Toby Emmerich, all these other shitbags that just made this universe a living hell. Ben Affleck loves Batman. Just so much so that he built himself a bat cave in his, of course he's got all the money in the world, but still just shows the commitment to the character. The guy absolutely loved playing the role,
Yeah.
but he was given so much shit when he was writing his movie. There were so many rewrites. Also,
Um,
Jeff Johns, that piece of shit. You know, the, Jeff Johns telling Snyder and Affleck, who's a two-time Academy Award winner, hey, you got to rewrite. What the fuck? Like, who
yes.
was back there making those calls saying, yeah, treat these guys like that? Ben Affleck was so burnt out by this stuff that he just, I know he said it numerous times and then came back, but he just finally was like, I can't, man. This is just too much.
Yeah,
Learn from this
no one
shit,
can
guys.
blame him. Like there's a lot of mistakes that happened in these past 10 years. There's a lot of things James Gunn can learn from. We have bagged James Gunn at almost every turn, but I will say he truly cares about comic books. I'm sure he cares about these DC characters. We may not agree with the story direction he's going with, but at least he cares about them enough to give them a good shot. And yeah, we're Superman Legacy has some issues, but we're gonna be first on line
It's
opening day.
absolutely. We're big time DC fans. We want nothing more than to look. If Superman Legacy bombs, I don't get Batman.
Yeah.
So it has to do well. And I need it to do well because we don't like ripping on movies, despite
Yeah.
what many people may think. I actually like giving good reviews. But if your movie's shit, that's what I'm going to say.
And the
James
Superman
Gunn, let
Legacy,
him cook. Let him
yeah,
cook. Don't interfere. Learn from this 10, 11, 12 years of just complete ass. Let James Gunn cook. James Gunn, if someone's like, breathing down your neck, tell them to go fuck themselves. You do
exactly.
you.
You're the boss.
He is the boss. Him and Peter, what's his name? So just
Safran,
let them
yeah.
cook. And when you hire a director, let that dude cook. Tell him, of
Yeah.
course, tell him your vision. Tell him, dude, we're headed this way. If you're not in line with that, I'll look for another director. But
Hmm.
once you do come to an agreement and you do hire that guy, let him cook. I remember infamously, uh, and I've shared this story with all of my friends. You know, they called after what happened with Ben. They called Matt Reeves, and Matt Reeves was he just was like, okay, but I gotta be in the driver's seat. I don't want a co-pilot. Meaning, and he stormed out of a meeting. It's all documented where, uh, what's this fucker's name?
Which one?
Jeff Johns was like, well, this, and that. And he was like, no, I can't. I don't want this fucking guy anywhere near my movie.
Yeah,
And they had to roll the dice. Well, do we want a really good? This guy was coming off the success of the Apes movies. And we all saw what he was able to do with that. So Warner Brothers, for once, made the smart choice of saying, let's let him cook. We got a great Batman movie, a
yeah,
great Batman movie. You know, what did it take? Someone to stand up and say, don't fuck with me. Let me get my vision. His vision, pretty much almost
yeah.
95% is what we got on the screen. So just
Exactly. And it was
trust these guys.
fantastic. Yeah, I
We
mean,
already know that James Gunn can direct and do great movies. He did. I don't care what people say.
yeah.
I've pissed on the guy too. But
he he's
my
done a good
sentiments are the
job.
same for James Cameron. I think James Cameron's a terrible human being. I think he's a moron. I think every time that guy speaks, shit comes out of his mouth. But I can't deny that he's a phenomenal director. He writes like no one's business. I can't wait for that dude to do a new Terminator movie. So with James Gunn sometimes, well, not sometimes, since he got announced as the boss at DC, everything that dude says, Griffin and I are like, what the fuck did he just say? However,
Yeah,
he can direct and make comic books movies like no one's fucking business. Look what he did with
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Everyone right now is like a Guardians fan.
Oh
Fuck you
yeah.
guys.
And
15 years
Guardians
ago, you
3
didn't know
was
who the Guardians
fantastic.
of the Galaxy was.
Eh,
You had no clue who Star-Lord was. I don't care what you
Yeah.
say.
Everything's riding on him now. If he fails, who knows how long it's gonna be for DC to come back. But we got nothing else from DC till 2025. This is the end. Whether you guys enjoyed the ride, whether you didn't, DC's come to an end
I
after
did
10
enjoy the ride.
years.
I will say this. I did enjoy the ride. I thought Gal Gadot, I still think she's one of the most beautiful. I adore her as Wonder. I know that
Terrible
ship
actress
has
though.
sailed. I wouldn't say
Not
terrible,
terrible, bad actress.
but I think there's room for improvement. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see who our new Wonder Woman is gonna be. I know because Gal is done. Despite what she may say, we all know she's done.
Honestly, DC's only looking up from here. We'll see how it goes. We're just so long for a ride, just as much as you guys. Let us know what you guys thought about the DCEU. What was your favorite moments, least favorite moments? There's been a lot of least favorite moments, but DC, despite
If
James
James's
Gunn, it's
Superman
still gonna be
legacy
good.
is phenomenal. The cast looks great. I mean, yes, Superman is it's just like a 5 year younger version of Henry Cavill. I don't care what anyone says. But the rest of the cast looks great.
Yeah,
Um, if that movie does great, I'll be the first one to say, damn it, that movie was phenomenal. If it sucks ass, I will say so as well. So we are starting on a new venture, guys. The new DC universe starts in
yeah.
2025.